Hey, this is another edition of Growth Driven with Edwin Dearborn, and today I have Ethan Dangberg, and we're going to talk about healthcare management and marketing if you've got a healthcare practice, and who knows, we'll probably just talk about other stuff as well. Hey, this is Edwin Dearborn, another edition of Growth Driven. And today I have consultant with the Business Academy, Ethan Dangberg. Ethan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be on this show. Edwin, you've been a mentor of mine for many years, and obviously we've networked together for a long time, and it is I feel like I'm part of royalty being on the show today. So
yeah. Okay, well, I have a brand called High Class Bastard, so I don't know if I'll have to get you that shirt. But we're part of that royalty.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. So I know we've known each other for a long time, and primarily what you do is you work with a lot of healthcare practitioners, mainly chiros, but it seems like you've branched out to other niches and industries and other practitioners at the Business Academy. We could talk about tactics and strategies, and we probably will. But for you, why is it that you love working with the chiro or with the Business Academy?
Well, one of the things that's really interesting, it's fun working with practitioners and individuals that have more than just, say, a financial arbitrage to make money off of, or maybe a product that they're generically selling to the market, or moving zeros and ones around online. But these are individuals that truly want to make a difference in society and the way healthcare is done. So whether it's a physical therapist, a holistic medical doctor, an acupuncturist, a chiropractor, the individuals that we work with want to change the healthcare system as we know it, because we all know the healthcare system is completely broken, just in evidence of obviously the opioid crisis that we've had in America for many years now and the lives that's taken, and trying to help put to the mainstream a new model that allows for people to get better, faster, quicker, and also for practitioners not to be martyrs in that journey of helping others. They can actually profit, do well, and provide a valuable exchange as a result of providing value to their community and changing the way healthcare is. And for us, it fills our hearts up. It gives us goosebumps every day when we see what differences they make, and helping them to run a business is the biggest part of what's going to allow them to have a big impact. One of the things that we always try to share with our practitioners we work with, and to help them become, is realizing that a hospital in the major medical system today, hospitals are not run by doctors. Hospitals are run by administrators, boards, and business people. And they put models of business and of efficiency to help the masses at scale with their model. And we want to help teach that model to private practice owners to let their mission and their services that can have a bigger impact on society at scale, because they know how to run a business, they know how to structure marketing, how to have a strategy, and how to execute on a documented strategy towards a goal that they have being in practice for their legacy.
That's great. Great. I love how you articulated it. There was a couple of things that you said that made me think of something. Number one is, I think there's this false concept that probably goes back eons, that to fulfill your purpose, you have to be a martyr. And although it sounds very heroic and very romantic to be a martyr for the cause, it's very short-lived.
The metaphor I like to share is Nikola Tesla died broke with his ideas stolen from him, one of the greatest geniuses we've ever seen in modern human history. And Elon Musk today is changing the way technology exists and the way we live on this planet, but he's able to do it on his terms because he's a very, very savvy entrepreneur, savvy business owner, but also a genius in his own right. So there's no reason to go down broken with your ideas stolen and being trampled on. And just because you're a genius, you can have both as long as you know how to do both.
That's right. And number two, it's, we can sit there and complain about certain medical practitioners. They take advantage. Yes, the system's broke, but they're making a lot of money. So they obviously developed a business model. If we could somehow take the Martyr class and turn them into the entrepreneur mega business class, then we will actually win the battle to bring people healthier solutions. Because it isn't these big hospitals are not winning because of superior technology necessarily.
Not at all.
They're winning because of superior organization.
Well, let's not mistake this too. And if you look at, and this is obviously right up your alley, the existing authoritarian healthcare model, if you want to call it that, or whatever you want to call it, has superior branding. I mean, one of the things that our small, not small, but one of our providers has as a private clinic, they always have to battle up their branding against the major corporate branding of modern healthcare as we know it today. And if you're not willing to learn how to brand an idea, how to share it to the masses, how to take that brand and establish it in the consciousness of your community, then your message is always going to get stomped on by a much bigger brand, which is the major healthcare system, which spends billions of dollars on it every year to instill their model of a solution into society. So it's to the benefit of the individual practitioner who's in private practice to learn how to brand, how to market their message, how to drive in business, and then structure a business with effective systems and staff that allow for the model to grow, be flush in capital so it can continue to expand and grow. And also at the end of the day, so the practitioner can be rewarded for the value he provides.
Yeah, very well put.
Yeah.
I think, a lot of the chiropractors and the natural holistic, they come out of a school of this naturalness that it's almost like business principles are kind of anti-natural. You know what I mean? Like
the dirty word, yeah.
Word cutthroat business practices. I'm into holistic concepts.
Yeah, and it's just this abstract, ethereal idea. And that's the thing; it is abstract. They can have this beautiful artistic vision of the future, but you have to take that beautiful artistic vision, and then how do we, head in the clouds, feet on the ground? And if you can be on both sides of that spectrum, then yeah, you'll be able to have a bigger impact than your thoughts and law of attraction will. You have to take that and put it into actual actions. And one of the things I always really I've admired about what you've taught me, Edwin, is the importance of a documented strategy, right? And how many businesses just don't have a documented strategy that they're using as a basis for clarity, focus, and intent behind getting action executed and to get success in a quarter and a given period of time. And that's what it comes down to, is taking that idea and then moving it down into a strategy. And that's really where business begins. It begins on a piece of paper and working out linearly in sequence and by priority how your goal is going to be reverse engineered into your everyday actions. Very
true. Your point of, I think the example to cite you, an example that you gave earlier is, I think the Elon Musk example is actually the best example that you can share with the doctors, because here's a guy with brilliant visions. We're going to Mars, electric cars, free form technology. I'm not gonna withhold my ideas from anybody.
Right.
This new world renaissance man, yet the wealthiest man in the world. So you can be a new world man with these holistic ideas, back to the doctor example, and yet still be completely financially successful because you embrace technology, marketing, branding, business principles. Like it is possible to thrive in both worlds simultaneously.
And it's funny, there was a quote that was mentioned from one of our top doctors with the Business Academy just this last weekend at our conference we had here in Clearwater, Florida. And he mentioned, don't forget, this whole healing thing that we talk about only works when you have a happy doctor. this healing thing with the patient doesn't exist with a depressed doctor, with a stressed out doctor, with a doctor who's only giving 10% because he's just pulling his hair out every day and worried about how he's going to pay his bills or make payroll that week. I mean, the healing doesn't exist when you're in that state. So you want to get abstract and, up there and kind of foofy with the idea. Fine, let's get down. Let's take that idea and go, you're not going to be able to serve and impact your patients at the level they expect or that they need if you're not financially successful, you're not capital flush, and if you're not organized and efficient in your operations to grow the practice. So you can walk into the office, treat your patients stress-free, and allow for your business to grow whether you're there or not.
That's right. I'm just going to give you a little historical tidbit. Do you know that I saw an interview with Elon Musk? You know what his most favorite book of all time is?
What's that?
The Autobiography of Benjamin Franklin.
Oh, wow.
And if you take a look at it, he really is the Benjamin Franklin of our time. Benjamin Franklin was a successful businessman. He was an inventor. He was a Renaissance man. He was well-spoken. He had, the almanac. He was a publisher.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
He invented our first library in America. He invented the postal system. So he was all about communication, distribution of knowledge. He was financially wealthy. I mean, if you take a look at it, the parallels of Elon Musk and Benjamin Franklin 250 years ago, there's many, many parallels. And when I saw that, Elon Musk is very liberty-minded. I don't know what party he belongs to. It doesn't really matter to me, but he's very that entrepreneurial, liberty-minded kind of guy. And he's always, to me, been kind of that bringing back that American spirit, that Revolutionary War era of, free thought and, new age ideas and, exploring and, that whole era. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit about Elon Musk.
That's so true. We're talking about Benjamin Franklin. He was a multifaceted man. And of course, on top of that, he dipped himself into politics a little bit, in the formation of this country. I mean, talk about a resume for Benjamin Franklin, and then talk about what Elon's doing now. And it's funny how Elon can he's put himself at the precipice of our culture today. What he said, he can just tweet one thing or imply one thing, and it moves the conversation tenfold in a way that almost nobody else can. It's pretty remarkable. And he's not. That's another thing too. He's not afraid to put himself out there. And I think so many healthcare providers, if they're running a private practice, they don't want to come across as pompous or as holier than thou and like, look at me and, with a big head. So they then refrain from putting content out. They refrain from getting their message out and trying to tell people what their solution is. And they want their actions to do the work for them, to be their voice. And I go, someone like Elon Musk, again, he's not the most social extrovert out there. He's a bit awkward in his conversation, but he's putting himself out there every day because he realizes if what he says, and if he puts his brand out there, he can move a conversation or a narrative culturally across the entire world. And that's what I think most of our healthcare practitioners that are trying to get their message out need to do too. Stop worrying about how you appear to others and just go in front of a camera, get your content out, distribute it, and provide people with a solution that they need to hear every single day.
Yeah. Now, I know at the Business Academy, you guys, a number of years ago, name escapes me, one of the principals at the Business Academy, you guys put together this content machine.
Yes, content machine. We have a number of digital services, but that's the one you're referring to. Yeah, content machine.
Yeah. And I think that's so critical. And guys, if you want to know what the content machine is or how to reach Ethan, just go to thebusinessacademy.com. Also, you can go to LinkedIn and just type in Ethan Dangberg, and you can find his profile and his contact information there on LinkedIn. But at the Business Academy website, you have a little portal there that talks about the content machine. And I think that is such a critical aspect of the marketing, because if we do not, as Jordan Peterson once said, you've got to become an articulate beast. And he
Yes.
says, when you become an articulate beast, you're deadly in the best possible way. And I was like, oh, I mean, of course, leave it to Jordan Peterson to really articulate it that clearly.
Of course.
But I think it's important that you are helping these healthcare practitioners take their ethos, their philosophy, their way of wanting to change the world. Because if you don't tell the world how to change, if you don't educate the world, so can you speak to us or speak to the audience here what that content machine is and how you help doctors articulate themselves?
Well, one of the principles, I think, in branding, marketing, and so forth, and I know you've mentioned this a number of times, obviously, public relations has to be PR has to be the forefront of what's in front of you, pulling your marketing forward. So there's no better example than if you're a business that has no content, no real brand, no presence online, no public relations or PR really established in the online community, and then you go and do a bunch of Facebook ads, right? You can still get results, but I can tell you, at least from our healthcare practitioner standpoint, let's just say with regenerative medicine and promotions towards, bringing people in for knee pain and joint pain and having regenerative medicine or stem cell therapy as a solution. If people go and click on, see your ad, get attracted by it, click on it, and then see a solution, they're gonna go to what they need some kind of authority or at least social proof to comfort them in making an appointment. So where are they going to go to? They're going to go to your Facebook page that the ad is connected to and check out what's on there. What are on your reviews? What's the content you're putting out? Let me consume this a bit. And I can't tell you how many times we see our doctors that do the content machine and have 2 to 3 pieces of content going out every single day on all their social platforms with their philosophy, with their ethos, with their solution, with hitting the pain points of their audience. And then they do a Facebook ad campaign. Then they do an Instagram ad campaign. Then they run SEO through their website on Google and their website rankings. And all of a sudden, for some reason, this Dr. A, who has content who flush everywhere, is up here with their leads. And the guy who just doesn't have time for content or doesn't want to do it or whatever, and just wants to do some quick hit Facebook ads, only gets this many leads. And because there's not PR ahead of that marketing that's driving leads into the business. And if you want to go content directly to how's that going to create sales in my business, I mean, that's it right there. You get content going and you create an audience. It just gives authority and it gives comfort and security to a lead seeing your ad to be able to go to you and going, this is a reputable company. I like what they do. I can know, like, and trust them before I even interact with them. And that is where not only where you see your quantity of leads go up, but then your quality of leads are increasing as well because people are already warmed up to you.
Yeah. I'm sharing a quote here. Content marketing is the new PR. This came up from Forbes about 1.5 years ago. So I agree. And what you're helping is with this quote example is when they create that PR or that content, it goes out, it gets people to know who they are, what they do, it builds trust, and people start sharing it.
Right. And then
word of mouth.
And there's nothing, there's this one husband and wife couple, they're chiropractors at West Palm Beach. I love them to death, Dr. Joe and Karina Taylor. And they run, obviously, great Facebook ads. They have, a lot of their digital footprint through their marketing is all over the internet. But they not only have done content machine, they put content regularly out, but they do these workout challenges, right? In their Facebook group. And it's every month, it's 30 days, it's something new, it's something to build your core, or it's push-ups, or it's squats, or something, but you got to do it every single day. And they've done it every single month for probably about 3 years. And it seems innocent. It seems like a throwaway thing that you could do or not do, and it wouldn't make a difference. But the amount of new patients they've generated just from doing something as simple as that every single month, and it takes like no time out of their day. It's like 5 minutes a day. Is that record it and post it to a group? It's countless. I mean, it's ridiculous how much it's just a free. But it took 6 months of that, just staying consistent, and all of a sudden it came in. And then and then friends of friends, patients are on it. Friends of patients are in there, and again, word of mouth exists. And how much money does it cost them? $0. Like Gary Vaynerchuk says, stop complaining about using these platforms. They're free. I mean, a lot of times they're free if you just want to get organic content out. It doesn't you don't have to put anything in the paper. You don't got to do a PR in the old traditional sense. You just go on these free platforms and use them. Then if you're going to pay for their usage for ads, you got an army of content and awareness already there.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that you have to, the example that I would give is somebody goes, well, should I really be on Facebook? Should I be on social media? Should I be doing email? I said, when was the last time you went to the airport or a Starbucks? And they're like, oh, it was yesterday or last week or whatever the time was. I go, what was everybody staring at? And they go, their mobile phone and their laptop. Yeah. I said, good. I say, without being creepy, I want you to walk around that airport at that Starbucks and look at their screen and tell me what they're doing. I did this once with a person in St. Louis. He's like, I don't know if I should be on Facebook and online. Business the traditional way. We were sitting in a coffee shop. There were about 30 people. And I said, look up. And he says, what is everybody doing? Literally everybody was staring at this. Like everybody.
So true.
I said, walk around just like you're getting a glass of water or going to the bathroom, and then just kind of look over their shoulder and then tell me what they're looking at. So he went around, came back a minute and a half later, and he's like, they're either on YouTube or Facebook. I said, yeah, this is just a random sample of 30 people. Everybody's on their mobile device. Everybody's on YouTube or Facebook. And then you're telling me why you should be on YouTube and Facebook.
So obvious. It's like, it's a look.
Yeah. Just just extrovert and look at what the audience is doing. And as my dad would say, fish where the fish are,
Absolutely. This is how true it is. You just have to see how awkward it feels to be in the airport waiting in line for at an Einstein bagel or at a Starbucks, and just put your phone away and don't have your phone out for 10 minutes and wait in line patiently like a human being would 15 years ago, and just feel how strange it is. I do that sometimes. I'll put my phone away, I'll put it in my pocket, and I say, I'm going to sit here in line and I'm going to see what it's like to be bored again. And I'll sit in line for 5 minutes, and you're an outcast. It feels strange because what do? You obviously people watch, and then people feel like you're staring at you. You look at the ceiling, you look down the hall. I mean, that's how much people are on their phones, because that's exactly what you do pretty much 90% of the time.
Absolutely. Yeah. So other than the marketing and the creating the content, what do you think is the other weakness that is the common thing that people come to you as a healthcare practitioner?
Well, here's a very common thing that happens. So for a healthcare practitioner who's in private practice, the most important thing right up the gate is they have to be able to, just like any business, attract new business every day and every week through the front door to build their business. That goes without saying. Once we solve that, then people have to be convinced that your solution is the right one for their problem. So that's the next major hurdle we have to help healthcare providers with. There's so many times we'll help them get 10, 20, 30 new patients in the door and the amount of new business they need to create growth, but then they're going out the back door just as fast and not doing business with that doctor. So whether it's, because a lot of times most providers these days want to create a concierge type service for their community, where they don't want to have to go through the hoops and the restrictions and the regulation, the red tape that their insurance is going to give both them for their care and the doctor for their work. So instead, they want to create a concierge service. They say, we're going to get you better, quicker, faster, but we're going to do it in a way where we're going to kind of bypass your healthcare insurance so we can get you the best results in the way that we know we can get them. And in that way, we're going to provide more value than you're going to pay, but it does require a patient in many cases to go out of pocket to invest in themselves and their health in that practice. And so many practitioners obviously just don't know how to influence somebody effectively to get them to commit to care and a solution in that office. So sales, negotiation, the ability to convert a lead into business is another big obstacle a private practice healthcare practitioner can do, especially if they're trying to get out of the insurance game and create more of a concierge healthcare service to their community. And that's the next big obstacle. Once they can get those two things down, then the practice can scale, then it can grow, then you're cash flush. You're not trying to sit there and pull your hair out and not paying yourself and how you're going to figure out payroll and your rent, then you're good. Now we're making money. We have business in the door. Then the next thing beyond that is, now that we've attracted business, we've converted that business into a patient, and we're servicing that patient, how do we keep that patient there and retain that customer, client, or patient in the office to get them to the result that we want to get? And that requires a whole host of systems that allow a plug and play method for any staff that you bring on board to help service that patient with incredible hospitality, with great customer service, with excellent outcomes, with efficient flow of care. I mean, one thing that patients, or I should just say people in society today, hate is going to their doctor's office, having to wait an hour and a half for their appointment. They set an appointment for 3 o'clock. They go to their general practitioner, and they're in the office there or the hospital for an hour and a half, right? It drives them nuts. And they also hate having who are the twins that were in The Simpsons, Marge's sisters that were in the DMV? They hate having those characters as the person concierging their service at the front desk in a major hospital or in the general practitioner's office. They want to go where hospitality exists. They walk into a studio or a healthcare practice that they want to go to. They want to. It's their home. It's their home away from home. They want to move through the office quickly, on time, accurate billing of services, and then of course having exceptional service with the providers and with the staff. And that's how you retain a patient in the office. The business retains itself. And that comes down to systems, having the right staff, developing those staff, and having the ability to have a good team in place that allows for an exceptional patient experience, which basically concludes kind of the three-prong approach to a successful practice. You attract an abundance of business every single day and every week. You can convert that business into a committed patient. Then you can retain that patient to get the best outcome possible through the use of a good team and good systems.
Yeah, all makes perfect sense. But these are skills that obviously they didn't learn in school.
Right.
So they need a business coach. They need the business academy or someone like them to teach them how to do this. And, one of the things that you said that reminded me is this Grant Cardone quote is "Speed is the new black."
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
And because people now, they want everything. It's like, I want my food delivered in 30 minutes or less, or the pizza's free. I want to be able to drive through and get my oil and lube for my truck in 30 minutes or less. It's like everybody wants everything right now. And it's the new expectation, not only in healthcare, but just in general in life. It's like, why am I in line?
Why is there a line? Why am I not being serviced right now?
Line? Hire more people. Let's go. This is like 2021. Why are we having lines?
I got places to be, things to do. And especially now with access to telehealth, I mean, why even leave my house at this point? Like, I want to talk to my doctor in front of my screen right now. And while some modalities don't provide for that, at the very least, you got to get people in and out quick. But also people need to feel like they want to stay. So you service them quickly and you work with them efficiently, and you're organized and structured your business in a way that moves them fast, but you create an environment around that patient. And this is one thing I learned from you actually a few years ago in one of your podcasts, one of your Facebook lives, and you were talking about the difference between customer service and hospitality. And you're mentioning that so many businesses focus on creating customer service protocols for their staff to their customers and clients, instead of creating a culture of hospitality, which makes people feel like they're at home when they're in their business, right? Yeah. And so you have to quick, efficient, in and out, accurate, timely, but also when they come, make them feel like they don't want to leave because of the environment you've created. So if you can master those two things, and then you can obviously, as a doctor, you do what you went to school for, which is to diagnose a patient, provide a service, case manage, and create an outcome that they want, which is what you're already skilled in, then that is the recipe for an expanding practice.
Amen. Amen. You brought up a point about telemedicine. How the people that you're working with, are you helping them navigate that proactively, or are you just saying, hey guys, you should embrace this? How's that changed for you and how you're consulting in the last year?
Yeah, different practices have addressed it different ways depending on the services and solutions they're providing. But I'll tell you one, there is a client of ours who has just done exceptional at adapting to the COVID crisis last year and telehealth and the direction that was moving. And they innovated quickly. They're out of Orlando, Florida, not too far from where we're at here in Clearwater. And they created a whole branch of their business. They have a nutritional response testing practice that focuses on the body's ability to absorb nutrients in a way that it can allow it to heal. And just last week, they had 213 new patients, and the vast majority of them were telehealth patients that they created a modality for to serve their patients. And they're seeing patients from around the world. So they're serving patients not only in different states and different areas, but they're also serving them in different countries as far as the other side of the world as Australia and everywhere in between. And I'll tell you, and it's a good friend of ours, Dr. Jason Dean, Noble Patriot, the guy's doing incredible things. And it's crazy because if you look at just what we were talking about earlier, what's the recipe for this, right? He built a brand, him and his wife, Dr. Lisa Palmer, built a brand that permeated the World Wide Web to where the moment, COVID hit, they adapted, built a telehealth protocol for their patients. The moment they said we're doing that and they had a model for it, I mean, the word spread like wildfire, and they had people from all around the world going through their lead funnels, wanting to take advantage. Like, just to take my money meme was just happening every hour from across the world. It was pretty exceptional. So that's a great example of how one of our top clients are really adapting to the telehealth model that's moving forward in healthcare. Yeah,
I think that could be a whole new management model that you guys could offer, is how to move into telehealth, even if it's just a $30, a $50, $100 service. It builds the pipeline. It builds the awareness. I mean, if I was a chiropractor, I'd love to have 1,000 people in my community taking my vitamin or my mineral or my exercise protocol, whatever, because eventually, okay, I can service you at home for $50 or $100, and I do that well. It's like an extension course. If I get you to read a book, maybe you'll come in for service after you read the book, right? Right. That could be that could be a whole new public relations / marketing model of how do I even get them in the door before I get them in the door, get them in the digital door, So true. And there's even right now, I mean, the major medical insurance protocols have also adapted last year too, to where if some of these providers want to do consults and bill for that through telehealth, there's codes for them now. I mean, you can obviously talk to your local insurance billing expert. I would recommend, for all my healthcare providers out there, Brandy Brimhall with the C Help Desk. She's our insurance and coding specialist. She's our preferred vendor that just helps all of our doctors navigate the insurance field. And Brandy really is somebody who has allowed a lot of guys to take what are the insurance codes and billing protocols that you can provide your community for telehealth consults, exercises, and rehabilitative programs for those that aren't going to be traveling to the office or need to stay at home. And that also has been another leg where many of our clients adapted to quickly and were able to service not only their current patients, but then reach out to new patients in their community to service and also to collect revenue as a result of that in their practice. Beautiful. Yeah. So tell me some future expansion plans for the Business Academy. Yeah, great question. Well, we want to just completely dominate, of course, the industry, and for chiropractic specifically. Chiropractic for me has a near and dear place to my heart. I'm a chiropractic kid. I had my first adjustment when I was 6 years old after a pretty horrendous car accident, and I've been getting adjusted ever since and lived a life that's been healthy and active, and I just swear by it. So I just want to see our systems brought to the colleges and the universities of chiropractic around the country. Same with physical therapy and other physical medicine models as well in the country. So we're going to be doing, doing more branding and events out in the community as soon as things open up a bit more. University events, spreading the word to new graduates as well for what we're going to be doing, so they have a step ahead from day one in their career, and they don't have to make the mistake of falling on their face for their first 10 years in practice. So they can get solutions right away. So that's a big impact we want to make as well. Of course, continue to expand our digital footprint to provide more digital solutions and marketing and branding for healthcare providers from every industry, from acupuncture to chiropractic, physical therapy, dentistry, and veterinarians, everything across the board as well. And then, of course, just keep serving, and right now we have a goal to see chiropractic shift the model that it's currently in from
servicing 7 to 9% of the current population to move that into critical mass of 15, 20%, so that the tipping point can occur with those solutions and helping people get off unnecessary drugs and surgery and getting their life back and getting their health back. So we're just proud to be on that journey, and we want to continue putting our best foot forward to help make that impact.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, if you are listening onto this as a podcast, which we stream this onto a podcast later on about 15 different channels, you can go to thebusinessacademy.com. I'm with Ethan Dangberg, and he's one of their top consultants, has been there for, how long have you been there? About 10, 12 years?
Oh my gosh, we're coming on a decade now. I think this year's about a decade. So it's, yeah.
I thought. And help you, help your practice grow like never before. And hopefully, I don't think it'll be this year, but next year, hopefully I'll see you at the 10X Growth Con in Las Vegas.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I'll be there.
I think in 2022 we'll have the things opened up.
Oh, they better, man. At this point, I mean, I'm out here in Florida, and the world is relatively back to normal somewhat here, and I know it's other states are doing the same thing. It's funny, talk about timing. I saw a tweet from mob boss Cuomo up in New York, and the mafia boss himself, and he goes, it's like the day or two, I don't know, January 6th or 8th, he says, we just can't we must open up our businesses. The cost is too high, but we must do it safely. And I go, you asshole, like, like, come on, and then the dictator Newsom is doing the same thing over in California. He's going to be, the stay-at-home orders are being lifted all of a sudden, and it's starting to move towards, back to where it was. And I go, that's interesting. I think it's interesting how things are turning around all of a sudden. And I hope they do turn around. I hate it when nefarious means are making decisions at this kind of timing, but so be it. As long as we can get back to work, that's the most important thing.
Yeah. Comment here from Maria Johnson. If I may add, telemedicine is the future. I agree. I'm a medical doctor, and I wish I could do more with my devices online. Hey, Maria, reach out to Ethan. Maybe he can help.
We'd love to talk to you. There's a number of solutions for general practitioners as well as alternative practitioners as well.
Great. Hey, so maybe in about 6 months or a year, we'll have you back on. You can tell us some of the expansion that the Business Academy has had, and
that would be awesome. And then Edwin, you're absolutely going on my next hog hunt. I gotta say this to your audience. When I interviewed you on my podcast, right towards the beginning of COVID, we did 2 interviews. The first one, and we're talking about business solutions and things to do during COVID, and stuff that's just spot on to what if guys when they did it in March are paying, it's just paying dividends months later. But no, we talked again like in the summer, and you really educated me on the Second Amendment, the importance of firearm safety and using your constitutional rights. Anyway, since then I had just bought my first firearm back around that time, and I listened to you, and of course went down on many YouTube spirals to understand and learn that whole industry. And hey, man, went on my first hog hunt just about a month ago, and I've been eating my first kill, and it's been awesome. I feel like I've completed the cycle of life now. I just want to do it more. So thank you. I appreciate that. And even ever since then, man, I bought my own AR. I'm building it from scratch. So I have a kit, and I'm super stoked. You were a big inspiration, man. I feel like I was at 0. Now I'm at a whole different spot. So thank you, Edwin. That's been a blast, and I would love to go on a hunt with you next time. It'd be a lot of fun.
We'll definitely have to work that out. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, so Ethan, thanks so much for being a part of the show on Growth Driven. If you are listening to this podcast, if you are watching this show either now or a year from now, half a year from now, because it will be on YouTube, I just want to let you know that I appreciate the fact that you take your valuable time to spend time with us to learn about this. I'm on a mission to bring to you insights, people with expertise, with a passion to share to help you. It's, we've gone through a tough time as a nation. We'll probably go through some other tough times together, but I think if we can learn together and we can kind of co-op our solutions and somehow develop the strategies that I've often talked about, then we'll all become better. So Ethan, thanks so much for contributing to this community.
Thank you, Edwin, and thank you for getting this out there. It's every night. It's a tireless endeavor, and I know the community at large is just thankful for what you're doing. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right, man. Peace out and do well.